Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gnanatimirandasya Gyananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Darati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapadakkamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sarvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bando Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे So we continue the Descartes chapter. Shyamasundar Das. Descartes also suggested rules of conduct which everyone should follow. He felt that we should obey the laws and customs of our nation, religious faith and family tradition, and should avoid extreme behavior. Srila Prabhupada, that is a good proposal. Actually, family tradition is respected in Vedic civilization. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna argues, Kula kshaye pranashyanti kula dharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo bi bhavatyuta. With the destruction of dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligious practice. This means that Arjuna was respecting family tradition, but Krishna pointed out that this consideration was material. It really has no spiritual value. Therefore, Krishna chastised Arjuna, telling him that he was situated on the material platform. Arjuna was lamenting over things for which a learned man does not lament. Ashoshanan vashosastvam pragnavadam shapasase gata sunagata sunshananushochanti panditaha. Bhagavad Gita 2:11. So perhaps Descartes made these propositions for ordinary man, but they are not for those who are highly elevated or spiritually advanced. Shama Sundar Das. Descartes considered these practical rules for daily conduct. He also believed that we should stand by convictions which we have formed and be resolute in the course of action we have chosen. This could also be dogs of obstinacy. However, if our final conclusion is true, then this obstinacy is nice. But if we have not reached the final goal, the absolute truth, such obstinacy is an impediment to advancement. This should not be generally applied because in the neophyte stage, we should be flexible. In the advanced stage, when we are firmly situated in the truth, it is of course good to stand by our convictions. That is determination. For instance, we have understood that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one can change us in this conviction. In the Christian system, they say that only Jesus Christ can help one go back to Godhead. That was meant for those whom Jesus Christ instructed, because Jesus Christ saw that if the people left him, they would go to ruination. He saw that these inferior people had to stick to him in order to progress. Lord Buddha rejected the Vedas, but this does not mean that Vedic authority is diminished. The men to whom he spoke were not able to understand the authority of the Vedas. and they were misusing the Vedic rituals. This is our relative truth, but absolute truth is different. Relative truth is within absolute truth, but absolute truth is independent of relative truth. Shyama Das. According to Descartes, we should adapt ourselves and our ambitions to our environment and fortune, instead of defying them. In other words, we should be satisfied with what we have and utilize it to best of our ability. Srila Prabhupada, that is nice. In Vedic civilization, for instance, there is no great endeavor for economic development. In India, you will still find villagers satisfied with whatever they have. There are even street sweepers who are great devotees. After they work, they bathe, put on tilak, and sit down to chant and worship the deity. Why should we be unnecessarily ambitious? Better to be satisfied. Shyamasundar Das. Descartes also believed that we should carefully choose the life work which is best for our personal selves. Srila Prabhupada. Well, if you are given that freedom, a drunkard will say that the best thing is to drink and sleep. Everyone has his own program, which he thinks is the best. So who will judge what is best? According to Vivekananda's philosophy, whatever philosophy you select is all right. That is nonsense. Hagrid does. In the same meditations on first philosophy, Descartes writes, "It is not in truth an imperfection in God. It is not in truth an imperfection in God that he has given me the freedom of assenting or not assenting to things of which he has not placed a clear and distinct knowledge in my understanding. On the other hand, it is an imperfection in me that I do not use this freedom right. But then, why doesn't God give us the understanding by which we can choose properly in all cases? Why can't we have free will and at the same time infallible judgment?" Srila Prabhupada, free will means that you can act wrongly. Unless there is chance of your acting properly or improperly, there is no question of free will. If I only act in one way, I have no freedom. We have freedom because we can sometimes act improperly. Agriv does. In other words, freedom means that a man may know better, yet still act wrongly. Shaprapad, yes, that is free will. The freedom to misuse free will. A thief may know that stealing is bad, yet he steals. That is his free will in action. He cannot check his greed despite his knowing that he is acting improperly and that he will be punished. He knows all the repercussions that result from stealing, yet he steals and misuses his free will. So unless there is a possibility of misusing our free will, there is no question of freedom. Hagrid does. In the meditations, Descartes maintains that when one does not know God, he really has no perfect knowledge of anything, and and when he knows God, he knows everything else. Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Vivek Prabhu Tandat Pranam Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Swami Prabhu. Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Haribo, you can propose.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay, Prabhu, I can read. Srila Prabhupada, yes. And knowledge of God means following the instructions of God. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna imparts the most confidential knowledge to Arjuna, but it is ultimately up to Arjuna to accept it or reject it. At the At the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells him, "Itete jnanam akyahatam bhyuvad bhyuyataram maya vimrashyatad asnena yatchi- sorry, yat- yatechesi tata guru." Those I have explained to you the most confidential of knowledge, all knowledge, liberated of this fully, and then do do what you wish to do. Bhagavad Gita 18.63. This is free will. It depends on the individual whether to act according to the instructions of God or according to his own whims and sensual inclination. I agree with us. Discretes further writes, I see that the certainty in truth of all knowledge depends on knowledge of the truth God, and that before I knew him, I could have no perfect knowledge of any other thing. And now that I know him, I have the means of acquiring a perfect knowledge of innumerable things. Descartes goes on to conclude that since God is all good, he would not des- dev- deceive him in matters pertaining to the Godhead. Srila Prabhupada. If he follows God's instruction and has real knowledge of God, he will never be misled. But if he selects a false God, or if he has not met the real God, he is subject to being misled. To save him from his danger, God imparts instruction in Bhagavad Gita. Whoever follows this instruction will be perfect. If we receive knowledge of the soul from God, there is no chance in being mistaken. As soon as we think in our own way, we are subject to error because we are imperfect and finite. Krishna precisely says that the soul is within the body, and if we accept this, we can immediately understand that the soul is different from the body. Krishna says that the owner of the body is the soul within the body, and immediately the false impression that one is the body, which is false conclusion, should be eradicated. The light is there, but those who do not accept it prefer to live as fools and speculate. Shyamasundar it was describes contention that the most perfect and highest emotion is intellectual love of God. Srila Prabhupada, that is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that the Jnani Bhakta, the intelligent Bhakta, is very dear to him. Tesam Jnani Nitya Yukta Eka Bhaktir Visishyate Vishishyate Priyo hi Jnani Yo Kyartam Ham Sacha Mama Priya. Of this, the wise one who is in full knowledge in union with me through pure devotional service is the best, for I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. Bhagavad Gita 7.17. An unintelligent devotee may accept the principles today and live tomorrow. A person who accepts the Krishna consciousness philosophy intelligently is very rare. We should not accept it by sentiment but by intelligence. This is very important.
Yes, Prabhu.
We should not accept it sentiment. Like a sentiment mean what, bro? Like emotionally like that, huh?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, like that.
Oh, okay. Mhm. By by intelligence. Shamasundaradas, for discretes, real happiness arises from consciousness of perfection. Srila Prabhupada, yes, that consciousness is real, Krishna consciousness, the awareness that God is the supreme and that I am his eternal servant. This consciousness is happiness, and it is confirmed by Bhagavad Gita. When Dhruva Maharaj was offered all the riches in the world by Kuvera, the treasurer of the demigods, he said, please benedicted me so that I may have unflinching faith in the lotus feet of Krishna. That is proper intelligence. Similarly, when Prahlad Maharaj was offered whatever he wanted by Lord Narasimhadev, he said, what should I ask from you? My father was a great materialistic, so great that the demigods were afraid of his anger, yet you have finished him in 1 second. What then is the value of this material power and appearances? Please engage me in the service of your eternal service of your servants. That is all I want. Shamasundar Das maintains that a man he is virtuous insofar as his reason controls his passion. Srila Prabhupada, yes, if one can control his passion somehow or other, He is freed from many troubles. Visya vinivartante niraharasya dehini dehina rasa varjam rasopyasya param društva sorry param društva nivartate. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment through the taste for sense objects remains, but sensing such and engagements by experiencing a higher taste. He is fixed in consciousness. Bhagavad Gita 2.59. People are suffering due to their passionate activities. Therefore, there are many Vedic rules and regulations governing action. If we can subdue our passionate impulses, we can save we can save ourselves a great deal of trouble. Due to passion, one becomes a drunkard, engages in illicit sex, gambling, and acts unreasonably. If one can check his passion by reason, he can save himself from the greatest danger. Shyamasundara Das describes has had a great reverence for technology, the science of God, because he felt that it was an open road to heaven for everyone, the intelligent and unintelligent alike. For discrete technology, he is concerned with real truths that transcend human reason. Srila Prabhupada, this means that we have to take the truth from the revealed scriptures. Every revealed scriptures gives some hint of an un, under understanding of sorry okay so every revealed scriptures gives some hint of an understanding of God. Shyamasundaradas first of all discretes tried to find some basis for truth. Then he came to the proof of the proof of the existence of God. As far as philosophy is concerned, he maintained that it lacks certainty, and that its tenets are always subject to dispute.
Haribol, should I continue, Prabhu?
For difficulty. Therefore, the Vedic Shastras enjoy that we follow the personalities who have realized God, and therefore we followed Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Vyasadeva, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Kapila Deva, the 12 Mahajanas, and their followers, the followers of Brahma's disciplic successions, the Brahma Sampradaya, the Rudra Sampradaya, the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, the Ramanuja Sampradaya, and so on. If we follow the Acharyas in the disciple succession of our path is clear. Shyamasundara Das describes felt that because science is based on philosophical principles which have no basis in themselves, science is not worthy of our cultivation. He condemns people for using scientific technology to make more money. He said, I am resolved no longer to seek any science other than knowledge of myself. Srila Prabhupada, yes, but he had no guru. Shyamasundara Das, no, he didn't accept a guru. He accepted only what he could know through self-realization, the innate truth that he discovered in himself by meditation. First, he came to the understanding that I am, and later he concluded that because I am, mm, God is Srila Prabhupada. That is a nice conclusion. Shyamasundara Das. He had no objection for the need of absolute certainty, because he felt that all the conclusions of the philosophers before him were debuts. He debuts. He believed that every idea must be subjected to debut. debuted it until the truth or falsity can be ascertained, just as a mathematical formula can be ascertained. Every idea must be subjected to cross examination. Srila Prabhupada. But when will these doubts be finished? Your understand, your standard of understanding self-evident truths may be different from mine. So, what is the standard? He must give some standard. Shamasundara Das. When Discretes meditated on the first philosophy, he concluded, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I exist. I think, therefore I exist. He felt that everything was subject to doubt with the exception of the act of doubting itself. Since doubting is a part of thinking, the act of thinking is an undeniable experiences. Therefore, he concluded that because I doubt, I think, and because I think, I exist. Srila Prabhupada, that is good argument. If I do not exist, how can I think? But he condemning doubt or accepting doubt. What is his position? Shamasundara. He accepts doubt as the only real fact. Because I can doubt that my hand exists, it may be a hallucination, a dream. I can doubt that everything prescribed exists because it may all be a dream. But the fact that I am doubting cannot be doubted. Srila Prabhupada. So what is his conclusion? Should one stop doubting or continue doubting? If I doubt everything, I may come to the truth and then doubt the truth. Srila Prabhupada. His point is that uh, the truth cannot be doubted, but that to discover the truth, we may we have to doubt everything. When we come to the truth will be undoubted. Srila Prabhupada. But how do you come to the truth if your business is simply doubting? How will you ever stop doubting? Shyamasundara. Well, I cannot doubt that I am, that I exist, that truth is undoubtable. So he proceeds from there to the fact that since I exist, God exist. Srila Prabhupada. Then his point is that by doubting, we come to a point where there is no more doubt. That is good. Doubt is the beginning, then the truth has the conclusion. But in any cases, the doubt must be resolved. I doubt because I am imperfect and because my knowledge is imperfect. So another question is how we can obtain perfection. As long as we are imperfect, there will be doubt. Shamasundara Das, he say that even through I am imperfect, there exists perfect knowledge, or is a self-conscious awareness of perfect ideas within myself. Knowledge of the perfect is innate within me, and I can know it through meditation. Srila Prabhupada. That is also acceptable. Shamasundara Das, because I understand that I think I can establish existence of my soul behind all doubt. Srila Prabhupada. Everyone thinks everyone is there, and everyone has a soul. There are countless souls, and this has to be accepted. Shamasundara Das. What about a blade of grass, for instance? Srila Prabhupada, yes, it has a way of thinking that has uh, the, that has to be accepted. It is not that we have souls and that the grass has no soul or the animal have no soul. Jagadish Chandra Bose has proved by a machine that plants can feel and think. I think, therefore I am is a good proposition because everyone thinks that things and everyone exists. There are eight this number of species, 8.4 millions of. species of living entities, and they are all thinking, and they all have individual souls. I agree with us. There is a lot of conjecture in discretes concerning the location of the soul. In his meditations, he writes, although the soul is enjoyed to the whole body, there in this meditation he writes in his meditations he writes, although the soul is enjoyed to the whole body, there is at a certain there is at a certain cer- there is at a certain part in which it exercises its function more particularly than in all other, and that is usually believed to be the brain, or possibly the heart, the brain, because it is within with it that the organs of sense are connected, and the heart because it is apparently in it that we experience the passions. Descartes then goes on to conclude that the soul is situated in a small appenden- appendage of the brain called the pineal body. Srila Prabhupada, the speculations means that he has no definite information. Therefore, we have to accept God's instructions. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna specifically states, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hardeshurjana testate. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita 18.61. There are two kinds of Ishwaras, controllers. One is the individual living entity, the Jiva, and another is supreme living being, the Paramatma or super soul. From the Vedas, we understand that both are sitting together within this body, which is compared to be a tree. Both the super soul, the individual soul, are living within the heart. Agree with us, but at the same time, doesn't the soul pervade the whole body? Srila Prabhupada, yes, that is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Yata prak yata prakshayat यथा प्रक्षते यथा कृष्णं लोकम् एमं रवेः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृष्णं प्रकाशयति Bharata, O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entities, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. Bhagavad Gita 13.34. This is the illumination of the soul. It is like the sun, which is situated in particular location. Its illumination is spread everywhere. Similarly, although the soul is situated within the heart, his illumination is categorized by what we call consciousness. As soon as the soul reveals the heart, consciousness is immediately absent from the entire body. at at one moment there may be consciousness, and at the next moment there may be no consciousness at all. When there is no consciousness, one may hack the body to pieces, and no pain will be felt. This is because something is missing, and that something is the soul. When the soul is gone, consciousness is absent from the body. Both the individual soul and individual consciousness are immortal. Under the influence of Maya, the illusionary energy, our consciousness is observed in many material things: society, nationality, sex, life, speculation, and so forth. Krishna consciousness means purifying the consciousness so that it will remain fixed only on Krishna. I agree with us. Discretes writes, I know that birds, birds, brutes, brutes do many things better than we do, but I am not surprised at it. For that also goes to prove that they act by force of nature. If they could think as we do, They could have an immortal soul as well as we, but this is not likely because there is no reason for believing it of some animals without believing it of all, and there are many of them too imperfect to make it possible to believe it of them, such as or or oysters, spogies, etc. Okay. Srila Prabhupada, first of all, living entity do not act by force of nature, but by force of God. Even in the heart of the brute, God is also present. God is within all, and He gives us instructions so that we can advance. When we attain the platform of human life, we have the alternative to refuse God's instructions. Lower life forms do not have the ref- power of power to refuse. Oh, Krishna. I agree with us. You have just said that whatever whatever grows has a soul, including the grass. Srila Prabhupada, yes. In a dormant stage, for instance, a child has a soul, but it is not yet developed because the body is not yet developed. According to the body and circumferences, the soul acts. I agree with us. Describes equated the mind, the higher mental process with the soul. He believed in an incorporeal, immortal human mind which has been mysteriously injected somewhere into the body. Srila Prabhupada, no, the mind is not the soul, but an instrument through which the soul acts. The mind is rejecting and accepting according to the dedication of the soul. Dedication. Dedication. Okay. Dedication of the soul. Although I walk with my legs, I do not under myself surrender. Sorry, I do not consider myself to be my legs. Although I think with my mind, I am not. My mind, so my mind. Some philosophers identify the mind with the self, and this is a mistake. Intelligence is subtler than the mind, and the mind is subtler than the senses. The gross senses can be senses seen, but the center of the senses, the mind, cannot be seen. Therefore, it is called subtle. The mind is guided by the intelligence, which is even subtler. The background of the intelligence is the soul. The mind is the instrument by the which we think, but that instrument is not I. I agree with us. For discretes, animals are mere machines that react. He felt that they have no no souls or minds, and hence no consciousness at all. And the basis for this view is reti, rotination. Roti, rot, sorry, right, roti, rotationation. Okay, explanation, madam. Language. In other words, because they have no language, they simply act as machines. Srila Prabhupada. They have languages, you you do not understand them. Agree with us. Scientists claim to be able to communicate verbally with dolphins. Srila Prabhupada. But but Krishna was speaking with everyone, even with the birds. When one gopi went to the Yamuna to bath, she was surprised to see that Krishna was speaking with the birds. Because Krishna is God, he can understand everyone's language. That is a qualification described in the Nectar of Devotion as Vavaduka. Vavaduka. When a human Vavaduka, okay, Vavaduka. When a human being can understand many language languages, he is called a linguist link sorry linguist. Another name for Krishna is Vavaduka. which indicates that he can understand everyone's language, even the languages of the birds and bees. That is the potency of God. Very nice Vavaduka name. No, bro? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu.
Like Vavaduka name was very nice.
Yeah,
I'm hearing. I'm hearing first time.
yes, Prabhu, same.
Hmm.
That's really
Shyamas, yes, bro. Shyamasundaradas describes considers five basic ideas to be inherent within every man. Ideas which every man knows without having to verify. One is that God is innate to us as our own soul. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, this is because we are part and parcel of God. For instance, in the material world, everyone knows that he has a father. This is a common knowledge. Shyamasundara. Secondly, it is impossible for something to originate out of things, out of nothing. Every effect must have a cause, and therefore there is cause of everything. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, we have discussed this. That ultimate cause is Krishna. We do not accept the Mayavadi philosophy because the philosophy is a negative way to try to make the ultimate truth zero. Shamasundara Das. Thirdly, it is impossible for a thing to exist and not exist at the same time. Srila Prabhupada, who protests this, who says that something can exist and not exist simultaneously, who is he trying to refute? Shamasundara. He is not refuting anyone. He says that this is an innate idea that we know for certain without having to verify. Srila Prabhupada. This body is a temporary manifestation and this soul is also existing. Eventually, this body will not exist, but the owner of the body is eternal and existing eternally. If something is a temporary manifestation, we can say that it is simultaneously existing and not existing. One on the material platform, everything is existing and not existing because it is temporary. For instance, we are existing in this room right now, but at the next moment we may not be existing. The whole cosmic manifestation is like that. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, nasto vidyate baho nabhavo vidyate nasat sahat satha vidyate satha उभयोर अपि दृष्टो न नत्स hold on. अन्यसो तत्त्वदर्शिभे. Those who are serious, serious of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent there is no endurance, and of the existent there is no cessation. There, these seers have concluded by studying the nature of both. Bhagavad Gita 2.16. Because the soul is never created, the soul never dies. Everything that is born must die. Shamasundaradas describes fourth innate idea is that so whatever is done can never be undone. Srila Prabhupada. Karma cannot be undone. However, it can change. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna uh, tells us to abandon all varieties of religious and just surrender unto him. If we do so, he will reveal us of all the reactions of karma. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. So in these senses, it is not a fact that what is done cannot be undone. Shamasundar Das describes his thinking in the reclaim of the physical after I throw a ball. That ball can never be unthrown. Srila Prabhupada, that is a child knowledge, not a philosopher. So direct perception is childish. Child believes so many things by direct prescriptions. I remember that when I okay when I saw a train in Kolkata. I thought that within the engine there must be have been horses. Otherwise, the train could not have run. This kind of thinking is not really philosophy. Of course, it is a part of philosophy because all philosophers are nature's children. This kind of thinking is not really philosophy. Of course, it is a part of philosophy because all philosophers are nature's children. Children, therefore, they think in that way. Shyamasundar Das. This creates fifth principle is that we cannot be non-existent as long as we are thinking. Srila Prabhupada, we have already discussed this. Everyone thinks and therefore everyone is a soul. Shyamasundar, this creates also gives two arguments for the existence of God. First, an innate idea of an infinite being necessitates the existence of that infinite being because a finite being could not possibly create such an idea. In other words, because I can think of the the infinite must exist. The infinite must have put that through in my head. Srila Prabhupada, there are many ways of thinking of the infinite. The widest think of the infinite has zero. Wide. Described may be thinking in one way, but someone else may be thinking in another. Shamasundara Das. Describes argues that because we can convince, conceive of perfection, perfection must be there. Srila Prabhupada, yes, but just because I am thinking of something does not mean that it exists. Everyone is thinking in his own way. Who will decide which way of thinking is correct? Who will judge? Therefore, we ultimately have to accept the confirmation of authorities. If our thinking is confirmed by the authorities, it is all right. Otherwise, it cannot be accepted. Shamasundara Das. Discuss was thinking more in terms of mathematics. If we begin counting, we can conceive of numbers stretching into infinity. So the fact that one can think of infinity necessitates the infinite. Srila Prabhupada. But the widest are thinking that the infinite is zero. Some mathematicians calculate that infinity means zero. Shyamasundara. Secondly, God is an absolutely perfect being, and perfection necessarily implies existence. Since God existence is the same as his hence he must exist. Srila Prabhupada. That is our proposition. We say that Krishna is the sum total of all wealth, knowledge, fame, power, beauty, and renunciation, because these appearances are attractive, and Krishna has them in full Krishna in all attractive. All these attractive qualities must be there in Krishna is in totality. That is Parasara Muni's definitions of God. Shamasundara Das. This is similarly to describes contention that perfect beauty and wisdom must exist somewhere, because we can conceive of the fact. Srila Prabhupada. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Brahma Samhita 5.1. No one is richer, more famous, wiser, more beautiful, or more powerful than Krishna. Krishna is the sum total of all qualities. Therefore, he is complete. Because we are part and partial of the complete, we can think of the complete. Because I am the son of my father, I can think of my father. Similarly, Krishna is the son, is the father of all living entities, and every living entity has the power to offer his respects to God. Unfortunately, the living entity is artificially educated by society not to obey God, and that is the cause of his suffering. Shamasundara Das. When Discretes inspects reality, He concludes that reality consists of substances. He defines substances as a thing which exists in such a way to stand in need of nothing behind itself. He has that there is only one absolutely independent substance, God. All other substances are created by them. There are also two types of substances, matter and spirit. Srila Prabhupada. This is all described in Bhagavad Gita. The sum mom bonum substances is Krishna, and everything emanates from him. All these emanation can be divided into two categories: inferior and superior. The inferior energy is matter, and the superior energy is spirit. Everything that we see or existence experiences is a combination of the inferior and superior energies. Since these energies emanate from Krishna, Krishna is the origin of everything, the cause of all causes. Shyamasundaradas states that the chief attribute of this or soul is consciousness, Prabhupada. And that is so. Chief attributes of this or soul is conscious. Okay. No, okay, that is so. Shamasundara Das. And the chief attribute of the body is the extension. Both the body and mind are infinite and dependent upon God for their existence, whereas God is completely independent. Srila Prabhupada. Jiver Swarupa Haya Krishnera Nitya Dasa. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 20.108. Therefore, every living entity is the eternal servant of God or Krishna. Since we all depend upon Krishna for our existence, it is our duty to please Him. That is the process of bhakti. In the material world, we see that we depend upon our employer for our salary, employer of the for our salary. Therefore, we always have to please him. Eko bahunam yo vidati kamhan. Katha Upanishad 2.2.13. God is providing everything for everyone, so why not please Him? Our only duty is to please Him, and that process is perfectly manifested in Vrindavana. It is in Vrindavana that everyone is trying to please Krishna, and because they are trying to please Him, they are happy. Krishna, in turn, is simply sorry, Krishna his turn in pleasing them. Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijanallabha Girvaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Krishna is the lover of Radha. He displays many amorous pastimes in the groves of Vrindavana. He is the lover of the cowherd maidens of Vraja, the holder of the great hill named Govardhana, the beloved son of Mother Yashoda. Yashoda, the delighter of the inhabitants of Vraja. He wanders in the forest along the banks of the river Yamuna. From Bhaktivinoda Thakur, uh, Gi- Gitavali. Krishna engages in pleasing the Gopijana, and the Gopijana is engaged in pleasing Krishna. That is a perfect relationship. In a perfect family, head, the perfect family in a perfect family, the head of the family tries to please all the members by providing them with good food, shelter, clothing, and everything else. Therefore, he works hard to please them, and their duty is to please him. When the father comes home, the wife and the son tries to please him and and that makes the perfect home. Okay. Similarly, God is the original creator, and we are all we are all subordinates maintained by Him. our only duty is to please him, and if he is pleased, we will all remain pleased. We If we pour water on the root of a tree, all the parts of the tree, the leaves and flowers and branches and nourished. The process of bhakti yoga is the process of pleasing the Lord. This is our only business. This is our only business, and as long as we take to some other business, we are in Maya. We have no other business. There is the living entity who does not serve Krishna is in Maya and is besieged, and the living entity who is constantly engaged in Krishna service is liberated and situated in his constitutional position. If anyone within the creation is not cooperating with God or not satisfying the senses of the Lord, he is not in his normal condition. It is the function of this Krishna consciousness moment to engage everyone in Krishna service and being everyone to his normal condition. People are suffering because they are in an abnormal condition. Shamasundara Das said. Discrets believe that the God's truth is the basis for our knowledge of the truth, and that God is truth. Srila Prabhupada, since God is truth, everything is emanating from the truth. We are trying to employ everything in the service of the truth. Because God is true. God is truth. We do not say that the world is false. The Mayavadis claim that the world is false, but we say that it is a temporary. Hmm, for instance, this flower is the creation of God. It therefore cannot be false. It is truth. It should therefore be employed in the service of the service of the truth, and that is our reason for offering it to Krishna. Suppose you work very hard to make something beautiful and then you bring it to me, and I say, oh, it is all false. Will you be pleased with me? You will say, what is this nonsense? I have traveled so far and have made such a beautiful thing, and he says it is false. Similarly, since God has created such a wonderful universe, why should we say that it is false? Our philosophy is that the universe is God's creation and therefore should be employed in God's service. For instance, we are using the tape recorder to record this conservation. It is being used for Krishna. We do not say, oh, it is a false, it is material. We do not we won't use it. That is the position of the Jains, who do not take advantage of these things. We say rather that we can use these devices, but not for our personal sense gratification. That is real vairagya, detachment.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much for very nice
Yeah, that was
conversation.
very nice. There was many nice things. Okay,
Yes,
tomorrow.
Prabhu. Nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for giving opportunities for
Well, thank you so much for reading.
I can improve my English reading.
It's really nice.
Yes,
And now,
thank you so much.
Shiksastakam prayers. Cheto
Sure.
darpanamarjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam shreyah kairavachandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam buddhivartanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvatma snapanam param vichayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
नाम्ना मकारी बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिर्तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमिदृशं हैजनीननुग्रहा
त्रिनादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानेन मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि
न जनम न सुंदरम कवितं वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भगवद्भक्तिरहितुकी त्वयि
ऐनन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितां मां विषमे भवां पुलौ कृपाय तव पादपङ्कजास्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय
नयनं गलदा अशूर अशूरधराय वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकैर्निचिन्तं वपु कदा तव नामग्रहणे भविष्यति.
युगा इतं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविर्श इतं शून्य इतं जगत् सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे।
अस्पृश्य वा पदारतं नष्ट माम् अद्रश्नान् मर्म हतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनतस्तु एव नापरः.
Haribo, glory to the Sri
Haribo.
Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Second one, to O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings and those you have hundreds and millions of names, like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names, O my Lord. Out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Oh, Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your costly devotion, service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at recitation of your name?
Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, some considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly and by his embarrass or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Haribo, Sri Success
Haribo
Jai.
Jai.
The 10 offenses to the holy name. First offense to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second offense, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu.
Third offense to disobey the orders of the spiritual master.
Fourth offense, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in the pursuance to the Vedic version.
Fifth offense to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination.
To give some sixth offense, to give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh offense to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name.
Okay. Eighth one, to consider the chanting of the Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities.
Ninth offense to instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
Tenth one, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments. Even after understanding so many instructions on this matter, it is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success Krishna Prema.
Haribo,
Haribo,
Vanchakalpatarubhascha,
Vanchakalpatarubhishta Kripa
Prasnabhyeva
Sindhubheva
cha Patitanam
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo Namaha.
Namaha.
Thank
Haribo.
you very much, Prabhu. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you so much, Prabhu, for your
Thank you
association.
so much, Prabhu.
Nice to
Thank you
have
so
you
much,
back
Prabhu.
meeting
Prabhu.
after some
Yes,
time.
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Maybe
Thank you so much,
tomorrow we can have
Prabhu.
also